This podcast is sponsored by Oran Coyle Financial Advisor. Oran is a regulated wealth manager and financial planner based in the UK.
One of the best things that you can do, especially from a young age, is to gain a better understanding of your personal finance and investments, including things like saving tax, pensions, using stock markets for potential growth, and more.
You may usually switch off when you hear people talking about money, but the best thing you can do for yourself is to reach out and learn more about good financial management.
We know firsthand that this information is not complex, nor is it hard to grasp. It costs nothing to reach out to Oran, book a face-to-face or virtual appointment with him, and understand more about what you want from your money.
How's it going, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Here's the Crack podcast. We're a bit spaced out today in the studio because we've got two guests on, Connor and Andrew. How's it going, guys?
Good, yeah.
Good.
Are we?
Thanks for having us.
I'm gonna talk to the general vicinity, so as if you just go on, whoever wants to take it first. But I think we'll start. Andrew, you've been on the podcast twice now. We've been on yours.
Third time.
Mad.
Yeah, great. Yeah, when
what was it you said when you walked in? You called us something. I don't know what you said.
No, don't repeat that. That's me cancelled. Be cancelled.
Connor, you're much more polite whenever you walk in.
But I know them.
The lovely boys, you called us.
The Lovely Boys Club. They are lovely boys. You'd bring them home to your mother, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I will. I love how that's the description. But Connor, it's the first time you're on. Welcome.
It is, yeah. Thanks for having me.
What do you is this isn't your first podcast, is it?
Not my first podcast, but yeah, first time with you guys.
Obviously, you're no stranger to a microphone anyway. You've been on the radio for.
I've seen one of these. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought we'd get you both on because obviously big news is your boxing match coming up.
Yeah.
There's a bit of beef.
A bit of beef.
There's no beef actually. It's
That's what we were going to ask. How did that all start? How did it all? I know it's for charity, but how did it all kind of?
It's for charity. It's comedians boxing, and I randomly have been brought into it. Andrew, I think, was basically lacking an opponent. You didn't take part in it last year, so you didn't.
No, I was actually I was filming my comedy special.
Yeah,
right.
Was lacking an opponent.
Was it that everyone was afraid to fight you, or
there was words? There was rumours.
Yeah.
British Boxing Board of Control rejected the license again. So
dangerous man in the ring.
I threw my hat in. We rang Shane Todd live on air, didn't we?
We did.
Where was he? Norway or somewhere?
He was in Denmark.
Just stepped off a plane, I think.
Denmark, and we.
You rang him on the radio.
Was that genuinely? Because I seen that. Was that genuinely
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shane Todd sanctioned the fight.
Oh, was?
And that was it.
I love how he's quizzing.
Nobody knew anything about it.
But he's not mentioned, as you chatted before about it, or was it?
We were chatting about it on the radio.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't announced who I was fighting, and then we got chatting about it, and then I said, "Would you fight me?" as a bit of a joke, and then we messaged Shane kind of while the song was playing, so take a call and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we didn't just ring him, we texted him and said, "Can you talk to us?" And he was like, give us whatever, 5 minutes or something.
He was literally walking off a plane.
And then
any regrets?
And that was it.
Did you think after you phoned, it was all kind of one of them things that sort of spiraled, and then you phoned and then you left the studio? It was like, oh,
you know what? It was one of those things. It was like, oh, we have to actually go and do this thing now.
Yeah.
And then there was questions like, are you two actually going to fight? You're supposed to be mates. You do a radio show together. You can't hurt each other. What is this going to be? And then it all became very real to me. I joined a boxing club. Obviously, we've two different camps, and Tyrone McKenna is taking our team, and Sean McComb's taking your team. And then during the week, I wanted to do a bit of extra training, so I joined a boxing club in Tullycarnet, in East Belfast. First night, got hammered.
Yeah,
got absolutely battered.
Were you straight on the
and the coach that was sparring with me, he was going at 20%, but I left going, oh, this is
sparring on your first night straight in.
Straight in.
I suppose I did.
Baptism of fire. Wanted to see where we were at,
on the bags or something. A couple of nights
straight in.
The ring.
See how you're
straight
moving.
In. And the coach Gary, he goes, don't worry, I will be hitting you hard. He goes, you try to hit me. But then he's getting ready, he's putting on hand wraps and stuff, and then he starts putting Vaseline and all on his face, and I'm going, he's expecting a fight. He's expecting me to be able to do something here.
Yeah.
So I have little moments where I'm like, wow, we're going to be boxing. And then every now and again we'll tell each other, it's all right. We're not going to try.
It'll be fine.
And did you have experience in the boxing, or I know, did you have any experience, or were you just like Connor and just right, I need to sign up for something, or were you kind of?
No, I was asked to do it. The comedians asked me, and it looked like a really good event last year. And I thought, do you know what? I might as well start saying yes to a few things, like completely out of your comfort zone. I've never thrown a punch in my life.
Yeah.
I can't fight. I can't defend. I've got no feet. But other than that, I'm really good.
He's leading. He's leading in a false sense of security.
See, this is it, right?
I can't do
There's mind games happening.
Yeah. This is it. And Shane had reposted a video at one of the training sessions, and I could see you in the background. And I showed it to Nicole, my missus. I know you won't want me saying this. I said, that's been planted. He's trying to look this bad on purpose.
Yeah.
To lull me in, and he's going to come out on the 26th of June,
and all.
like Mike Tyson.
I sparred Shane Todd 4 rounds, 2 minutes each. Have you seen him limping? That was me. No, and it was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful.
What's it been like? Like, how many weeks have you been on it now?
Probably 4 weeks now, is it?
Yeah, I only started like 2 weeks ago because I've been a bit busy, and like I'm going away on holiday in 10 days, 2 weeks for a week.
Maybe bring the gloves with you, like.
You're not
No,
really taking
it's
this
the gym where
seriously,
we're
are
going,
you?
so I'll probably just do a bit of cardio and a bit of box. Look, I think it's a great experience to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something I think Conor, there's a big difference in personality between me and Conor.
Mm-hmm.
So I've known Conor maybe 6-7 months now properly since he's come on the breakfast show. Conor's a very detailed, technical guy. And I take that as a big compliment. He is a man that knows his shit. And I think when he puts his mind to something, he wants to get it right 100%. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, for example, Conor changed his car. He would have done hours of research.
Weeks
Of
and weeks
research,
and weeks.
Right. So he is
10,000 YouTube videos, that sort of thing.
He's the kind of guy that if you wanted something to be done and you needed something to do something for you, you'd probably say he's your man to do it because he's so focused. Whereas I'm like, should we just have to crack with it? Like,
Yeah.
we're very different in our approaches.
Which is good. I think like we need a bit of that, because if Andrew was as intense about things as I can be, there probably would be
A friction.
Like we wind each other up on the show and stuff
Oh, yeah,
about
we
it,
have a
and
laugh
whenever
at
we
it,
have a bit
like.
of crack, but there's no genuine
No.
tension.
Yeah.
It would be awkward and weird on the run up to this fight if we were both looking at each other,
No.
constantly sizing each other up.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I don't really have any beef with people, and I don't really want to have any beef with people. Like, I think personally, I wouldn't have known the effect that the Ulster Hall would have in terms of boxing. It's not a world I know.
Yeah, you had no idea.
But people told me that like the Ulster Hall is like a really iconic place for especially boxing.
Yeah.
So like, especially if you're from here, like you probably maybe once in your life you'll ever get
It's amazing.
if that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. So for me, I'm just doing it. Gonna go in. What a wonderful experience. Hopefully, do all right. And people are saying, "Oh, you want to win?" And I was like, "I'm not arsed. Like, why would I be good at it?"
Yeah.
Mm.
And
I don't understand why I would be good at it. I'm doing it for the fitness. I'm doing it for the mental side of it. I'm doing it for the teamwork, the crack that me and Conor can have with it, the things that we can talk about, the experiences that we can share together. Amy from the radio, she's going to be commentating on the night.
She's
on our
going to be
fight. She's going to be with Dave Elliott just commentating on our fight.
She's going to be watching like this, literally.
You know
Like,
what I mean? But I think the most important thing is no matter what happens with it, we'll have to crack with it, and afterwards we'll just have a drink and a good laugh about it.
what did you call us the other mornings? Like watching little boys. We were wrestling.
We were wrestling. Well, a song of that, we were literally grabbing each other like in wrestling.
Yeah.
She's like, it's watching
42,
two little boys.
I think
yeah.
that would probably make it like a little. It probably makes it more entertaining because you always see these boxing matches coming on, and you kind of like deep down know, is this beef real or is it fake? And like, people are kind of over dramatizing, and it kind of comes a bit cringy after a while. Where it's good
There
that
is
you're actually
absolutely zero beef between us.
Well, here
Like,
there's still a couple of weeks to go.
No. I think, am I nervous? Personally, I'm not nervous. What I'm nervous about, I'm not overly fussed about getting punched. I've been punched a few times. I don't know about you, Conor, but in terms of being in front of that crowd, I'm kind of fine in front of crowds anyway.
Yeah.
I think I'll be fine in terms of dealing with the crowd, in terms of like I'm well able to block stuff out, especially crowds.
Yeah.
And I think because I'm a comedian and I'm not a boxer, I don't think people are going there, oh, we really want to see Andrew's left, right, jab, hook. Like, you know, you're going to just see a guy go, oh, what the fuck? How do I deal with this? Like, So, whereas I think Conor, if you don't mind me saying, will be a lot more technically finesse.
Yeah. I mean, like bang it in there. Like it's genuinely, we don't want to end up hurting each other. The thing is, you're wearing what do you call them?
The headgear.
The headgear, 16-ounce gloves, everything else. And it's not like, within 12 weeks or whatever, we could get to a level where we're going to be able to throw a punch like Canelo Alvarez. It's not going to happen.
No.
But, you know, when I went into that boxing club in Tullycarnet and you're speaking to some of the younger guys and even kids coming up, and what a dream it would be for them to one day have a fight in the Ulster Hall in Belfast.
Yeah.
It's iconic shit.
Yeah.
It really is incredible. It's an amazing thing, and it's an amazing thing to be part of, and training with these different guys, and it's opened up a few doors for me, and it's good, you know, it's good promotion, and, you know, people are talking about it, you know. A mega event, and it's going to raise so much money for Children's Cancer Unit too. So it's just a class thing to be part of. But on the night, don't get me wrong, I do want to
smash it.
When I say look good, how good am I possibly going to look? But I want to look like,
I want to look like, oh, you know, he has been training 3-4 days a week for 12 weeks.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's it. As Andrew said, a bit of finesse and being able to move around. And fitness, I thought I was fit.
So I thought I was fit.
Until I started this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would do HIIT. We've done HIIT together, and we've before this we would go to the gym together a little bit, and you know, he's kind of taught me a lot about food, and he does CrossFit and all that, and done a bit of kickboxing. I've, you know, run marathons. I've do a lot of HIIT, maybe go to the gym 3-4 days. I lift weights, you know, I'm 42, I'm slim, you know, relatively in good shape. I can work my ass off for 45 minutes doing HIIT with very short breaks. And it's not fitness.
No, you do 2 minutes of boxing.
What's the difference? Like, is it just...
Mate, it's so hard to explain. Like, as either of you, either three of you ever done it? No. It's so difficult. Like, you just gas so quickly.
Yeah.
Must be like remembering having to keep your hands up and protected at all times. Getting weight pushed on you, having to attack. It's very explosive, obviously, as well. And then you kind of forget to breathe.
Yeah.
I think when you first start, because you're tensing, you know, when you're getting hit, the natural thing is to kind of tense up. So you're not really breathing. Adrenaline, your heart rate's at, you know, 190 the entire time. You gas so quickly.
Man.
Yeah.
But I've
Lungs
noticed,
are
I'm sure
burning.
you have too, in the last couple of weeks, your fitness just go, whew.
Yeah, like lungs are burning. Like I was just like, oh, this be grand. Today now, like we were doing it, like we were on the bag and we had to do these movements, but we had to do it. The punches had to be in sync with the movement of your foot.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're punching with your right, they wanted you to, you know how it works. Like
Just taking notes here.
you know, but like you had to like turn your foot away, and it's like you don't just stand there and go like that.
Yeah.
Like it's all about the transfer
Hips.
of the weight and the movement of the weight of the hips and stuff. So, but not only that, but then you're doing it, and then at one point I was sweating so much, the sweat was getting in my eyes, I couldn't even see anything.
Yeah.
I just went, so what a wonderful experience. You know, like some people like, I want to jump out of an airplane once in my life. Well, I can say I did a 3-minute 3-round boxing fight. If I last 3 rounds,
Yeah.
but I'll always still be able to say I did it. Like,
Yeah. In the Ulster Hall.
yeah.
You know?
But it's the first fight as well. I want to be the first fight because I am,
Yeah.
you know, I want to get steaming.
And you are like putting a lot of time now into the walkout and stuff, and you're going to make it fun. And
Your routine and all?
Yeah,
You've got a bit of help
We've got idea coming up with belts on, the fake belts, and then first aid kit.
you're talking about money guns and everything.
Money guns.
Just believe.
Like I want
The theme tune, have you said the theme tune?
Joe Dolan mixed with Born Slippy. Like it's crack. Like,
But you are putting on a show for the people who are actually going. as
like
well.
it's sold out in like 4 or 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And like the thing about it is there's some fights there that there's beef. Like
As you get
beef.
into the main card, some of the fights, I don't know anything about the
actually quite
beefs.
serious. Like
Actually, that's something I wanted to ask.
There's
Is it
fights
like,
I can't wait to see. So I know nothing about the beefs, right?
Yeah.
But Shane Todd is in great shape, and he's fighting Sean Haggerty.
Great.
I did some rounds with Sean on. He is in great shape. Both of those lads, very good shape, very muscular, very fit, know how to box. They've got a bit of experience with it. I think Sean's done 3 or 4 white collars.
Sean's a serious guy.
Shane, I think box trains like the way through the year. He's really into his boxing. I heard that he was, can I say it? Was he sparring with Michael Conlon and stuff too?
Oh, Shane is.
You know?
Yeah.
That's going to be that is going to
He's
be
ripped as well. Like he's ripped. I was with him today.
Pulling out all the contacts, like, holy
He
moly.
came onto my podcast, Cork in the North, today, and I didn't realize how big he was.
Yeah.
Because people think he's skinny and scrawny. I said to him, shit, I didn't realize how big you actually are. Really big.
Yeah, because he's rangy, he's long limbs.
Rangy,
so like you know,
lanky.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sean's a bit stockier, but he's strong and really, really fit. And then you've Colin Gaddis fighting. Is it
Roland Boyd. So Geddes.
Gaddis is a
Roland Boyd's
unit.
forward.
We were actually saying before you arrived, I think that'd be the last person you'd want to get.
Oh, imagine Colin. And
Like,
Colin
he's a
is
big
into his
dude.
MMA and
Gaddis.
stuff and all that, isn't he?
I think Roland Boyle is favourite for that.
Yeah.
That's
Because
how good
Roland Boyle
is.
wasn't
Roland
Roland
Boyle's a
Boyle.
boxer, like.
Yeah. But again, that's a good matchup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only person that would probably be like, okay, I'll fight Geddes. You know what I mean?
There's 3 female fights which are going to be great,
Yeah.
and then Diona's fighting Brona.
Diamond,
Like they're good mates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, but also there's Mickey Bartlett versus Paddy McDonald.
Yeah.
Paddy McDonald has shredded weight.
He's lost a lot of weight,
He's
hasn't
lost
he?
so much
Yeah,
weight.
he's looking great.
Right.
Like he's been on it for
Yeah.
months.
That's
And Mickey's in
interesting.
Australia, and he's training every day in Australia.
Every
Like,
other day I see a video, Mickey
He's
Bartlett
doing the
posting,
skipping and all,
skipping, hitting bags.
But the thing I've noticed is the people who did it last year
Yeah.
are so serious about it this year because I think they didn't realize about the bug and how good it was.
Yeah.
They went, oh shit, I didn't really know. Now I know how amazing this is.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm doing it for the first time. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
So yes, we're taking it seriously. It's not dominating my life because I have a lot of things going on in my life. You know what I mean? I don't have a boxing career. This is a one-off thing. So I have to say to myself, look, I'll do the boxing. Yeah, great. But for 3 90-second rounds, I can't compromise my tour. Can't compromise my work. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a...
Yeah, it's
Actually,
taken
it is-
it's taken over my life.
is a risk.
Yeah,
Like, it's taken over his life.
But
They can't take over
the
my
way I
life.
look at it is this is the one and only. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity that
Yeah.
I'm going to box in the Ulster Hall, and albeit I laugh and whatever I mess about, but for these next few months, I'm thinking right, I'm going to like live and train like a boxer.
Yeah.
In the gym every day. I've got a nutritionist. I have to check in with him every day.
Seriously.
Yeah. Like I am taking it so
I
on.
see a bead of sweat going down.
You know what I mean? Just to soak in the experience and just to do
Yeah.
it. So I know, like, come the 26th of June, I can be like, I really just lived every minute of that and really got the most
Committed
from
to
that
it, like,
that I could,
Yeah.
But I think, like,
Fair
you
play.
talk about the bug.
It is
I'm
good.
gonna stay on in that boxing gym and just the training's amazing. It's a
Yeah.
great gym. down
It
there.
is people who listen to this or watch this who've probably done a bit of boxing training. It is brilliant. Like it's
What-
hard up.
What's a week of like training look like?
Well, my week this week. So last night I went to the gym and I did a really intense hit with weights and stuff like, and then I did boxing at the end. Today I did 45 minutes with Sean McCobe, Shane Todd, and all them. Tomorrow we're doing another session. Thursday off, Friday off. We'll train again on Saturday, Sunday off. And then once recovery comes to about the 10th of June, we're then 2 weeks out. I think then we're like fighting every second day. We're actually sparring every second day.
I thought you would have just quit then and sort of recovered.
No,
Eased
it's
off.
390 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not exactly
yeah,
fucking.
just
It's
making
not,
sure the
like
fitness
to
is
be honest
there.
with you, it's 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I've done 4 2-minutes already, so I've already done more,
Then you're going
Than what I
to
should have done.
Yeah.
and I survived it. But there's a difference between surviving it and being fit within it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And everything will be so heightened on the night.
Aye.
Everybody
the
keeps
adrenaline
telling me
and
when
stuff.
you walk
Yeah.
out and the Ulster Hall screaming and
Music
playing,
everybody's
cameras
thousands of
everywhere,
people
like.
are streaming it at home and
Yeah.
just the weight of the event.
Yeah.
That'll trying to keep your heart rate down and keep saddled. But yeah, the training's flat out. I'm boxing training on a Monday, CrossFit on a Tuesday, boxing training on a Wednesday. It's normally sparring on a Wednesday. I'll take Thursday. I'll just do a bit of cardio. Take Friday off. Sparring on a Saturday.
Do you ever see your kids, mate?
And then Sunday. So the kids know.
Kids like, where's Daddy? Daddy's in camp. How much is he fighting for? No money. He's fighting for no money. If I think he's losing money because of the cost of the gear.
Yeah, spend a fortune on training gear.
I'm on my third gum
supplements.
shield now. Can't even get the gum shield in right.
You were nearly sick that first time.
I could put the gum shield vomiting because I couldn't get the gum shield in. I've got fake teeth as well, and my problem is I'm worried about the teeth.
You didn't melt it
Pull them
properly
out.
or something,
I
did you? And
don't
then you
know.
try to do it a
I'll
second
figure it out
time.
in the night.
You put it in the kettle or something.
get
I'm willing to go. I'm
Horse
willing to
direct.
go bare knuckle like.
That's like
I'm
confident
not.
he is.
I'm definitely not.
But it'd be good to talk a bit. Obviously, like Connor, you've been doing radio for a brave while. We were talking about this actually before Andrew came. It's like 5
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, well, I'll be with Q Radio 5 years in the summer.
Yeah.
And then around August, end of August, I think, yeah. And then before that, I was doing bits with Blast 106 community radio station in Belfast.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys I know actually in radio now have kind of came through that way, either student radio at Queen's or Blast or Juice, and
Yeah.
different community stations and things like that. It's just kind of one path, I
Yeah.
guess. There's no real path into radio, but that is certainly a route,
And where was it you kind of started off at then with Q? Was it?
I started doing the late show At the time, it was 11 at night to 2 in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah, the time slots were slightly different then. So yeah, I was on 11 to 2, and then I moved in. I was maybe there 5-6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved into the evening show, and then the time slots changed. So that was 7 to 10, and I was in the evening show, happy as Larry, right up until about 7 months ago.
yeah.
And then breakfast came
And then
along.
breakfast. And you joined Andrew.
Joined Andrew and Amy.
And how long were you doing it for, Andrew, before Connor?
I'm exactly 1 year
Yeah.
at the moment, so I was
5 months.
5 months, and then
Yeah.
Connor. So, then Connor joined after 5 months, and now we're 7 months together.
7 months in, yeah.
He's the longest main presenter I've worked with.
Yeah.
Well, Amy's been there the full year.
Well, Amy's been there full year as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the kind of initial, because obviously like the dynamic of the Q Radio morning show, like it really works because the three of you have like your own personalities, but when you come together, like you can see even from the TikTok clips and stuff, there's good crack.
Yeah.
So how did that kind of, whenever you were coming in as someone who'd been doing radio for a couple of years and then come on it?
To be honest, like I was probably a bit naive to it.
Yeah.
You know, I thought, I could jump in here, no issues. I was
Yeah.
confident, but I knew it'd be very different. And as Andrew says, I would be quite what's it, techie
Slick.
and slick, and an evening show format's very music based, and there's a top 7 at 7, and it's short links, 15-20 second links, keeping it flowing, snappy, and imaging, and just making it sound, slick.
Yeah.
And the breakfast show isn't that.
Yeah.
So I remember that first week, a couple of days in, I knew that there was something there.
Yeah.
I knew like, oh, this can work, but I had to change so much. I had to almost everything that I've learned in radio pretty much, I had to just throw that away and go with it, because breakfast is just a different format.
Yeah.
And you just have to let it open up, and you have to let it breathe. And then obviously getting to know somebody like Andrew, and Andrew's style is quite, you don't know what's coming next. And it's still like that today. Most of the time I don't know what's coming next, but we're at a level where I'm a lot more comfortable with it and know kind of how to let it flow, and I kind of know where he's going a lot of the time now.
Yeah.
Where at the start it was a real shock to the system. It was like, whoa,
Yeah.
what the fuck's happening here?
Yeah.
Like I was a little bit scared,
Yeah.
and I was not scared, but I went, oh, I might be out of my depth here. This I mightn't be right for this.
Yeah.
But then after a couple of weeks, it then just started to click a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, I think we changed as well to kind of work with Connor in a good way. We probably needed to be, I think, a little bit tighter controlled. We were a bit loose with the links.
Some of our first links,
Some of the links were with
like
were way too
13
long.
minutes, they were
13
podcast links.
Literally blue podcasts. Like. But I mean, I don't know if I've told you this, but if not, I'm going to tell you this for the very first time. So when Connor came in, we had one or two people, because obviously when Declan left, we and Amy did it for a bit, and then we obviously were trying to figure out the direction. Connor came in, right, on his first day, and I don't know if I told you this, but I'll tell you this now, right? This Errol, who's like the station manager, is dead on. He's good crack. And he goes, well, how you get? He said to me like, well, how you get? I think it was like day 2. How you getting on? I went, I don't know, Errol. I said, he's probably the nicest fella I've ever worked with, but every time I say something, I think he's terrified. And and he says, oh no, you'll get it. I said, no, we will. And I'll be honest with you, I think after day 2, I didn't think it was going to work at all. I think I would. Amy was eventually like, so like, say for example, you could be talking about something happened in an airport that was, say, a main story, like, and something happened, and then you'd be like, the driver of the show, i.e. Connor, would set up like, right, as you know, we go fly, airports are busy, blah blah blah, and I don't know, say there was a fight in the pub and they made the news or something like that, like, and we all know airports and people are excited to go on holiday, so you're setting this premise up, and then I would just like, and then it'll be back and forth, 3-4 minutes, and then we try and find a thing, what's known as an out, and out is when you get that laugh and you just boom, we're done. I've noticed for the first couple of days when Connor was in, because he's so used to doing short links, he used to have his finger hanging over the button, which was
ready to go, ready to get
and
out.
I used to be like, move it. We're not, like, get your finger away.
Yeah.
Because when I see him on that, that's him. It's like he's putting me under pressure.
Oh, he's putting you on the
Yeah.
We had to find a rhythm.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
used to doing 30-40 second links, whereas the breakfast show is like, you do 3-4 minutes, and after a minute he's got his finger on the next. I'm like,
I was so
like,
nervous about it,
yeah.
and I didn't know, obviously, like, it can get a bit like, well, at the time I'm thinking, God, this is pretty close to the line, or pretty,
Yeah.
but as time goes on and you get that bit of experience, you kind of get to realize like, oh, to be honest, we're
actually nowhere near
we're
it.
nowhere near the
Aye,
line.
yeah.
You know, and we got that comfortable with each other. I got more confident on the show and more comfortable in my own skin, where I can just stand back, we'll let it breathe. And it never, at the start, it probably felt rushed.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to find that out and just to get away and get out of that link and get out of danger.
Yeah.
Where now I can just stand back, hands in my pockets, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah, well, like the Q station has a branding policy thing where it says big reach, big personality. And I said, so the personalities, presenters, yeah. And I was like, well, the presenters are only talking for 16 minutes an hour.
Yeah.
How is that big personality for giving us less than 25% airtime?
Yeah.
And on an
So
evening
that
show,
has to
I've never had to show personality before. I let
Why
the
you
music do it.
advertise a big personality?
I was
then you
talking
don't
about
have to
Harry
show it.
Styles getting a haircut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the sort of stuff that I would have been doing. So it was, I had to find my own voice and find my own personality.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I think what happened is when I went in, I was like, I went in like very loose, very sort of, I'm a comedian, I'm used to just messing around. And then you learn very quickly, there is rules here. Not rules, but like there is ways of doing it. And you get tidier and you get slicker and you get a bit more sort of like, I know now, I really know. Like I've been there a year now in Touchwood. Like there's not one thing I've said that's caused an issue.
Yeah.
But everyone, but there hasn't been. What was it?
He's going tomorrow.
What was it?
There was a couple of things kicked off a little bit on TikTok,
what?
but somehow I managed to get me and Amy.
Nothing
got
to do
the
with me,
heat
mate.
of it.
Yeah.
Amy and I got the heat of it. There was did Stormont just go back or something?
No, Stormont haven't gone back, and I made a political.
Oh, you were
point.
getting annoyed about it, yeah. And you stopped short of
I basically had
mentioning a certain party, but
everyone
as
knew who I
a
was talking
coping
about.
mechanism, a few months into the show, as a laugh, I brought in a whistle. Remember the first time I used the
I think
whistle?
you've seen this, yeah.
And if I felt Andrew was getting too close to the line, I would blow the whistle. And I used it, and you were
just about to go.
you were ranting into politics, and I blew the whistle. So this got clipped and got put online. The comments on TikTok.
It was horrendous. Like,
It was my first experience with that sort of thing. I've never
Really?
I've never been on that side. That was my first experience
TikTok's a dark place.
with with that sort of stuff on TikTok.
TikTok
You
is a
know,
dark place.
and it was like, you know, he's in the back pocket of this party, and he's definitely getting handouts, and he's censoring Andrew. And,
But I remember,
you know, like I'm some sort of
he was some
shill.
sort of like.
Proper conspiracy
Oh,
theories.
you have no
idea,
idea.
like-
That's mad.
Crazy.
And I was loving it.
Did you get it?
Spot the certain voters in the room and all this sort of stuff, and I'm going,
What? Yeah. So I rang.
don't have a
Remember, I rang
clue.
you.
Yeah,
Because I was a bit like he'd never got that heat before.
that's the first time ever.
But
Hundreds of comments.
look, you know, I get loads of heat, like, so I'm quite. That's people calling me
I was
dickhead, and I'm like, going, brilliant. I don't care, but like,
That was me like, at the time. Like we put up like I think it was the video about Stephen Nolan.
Yeah.
And like we literally went like half an hour, recorded a podcast, came back, and Tommy was like, "That's on 10K." And in my head, I thought, "No one's coming to my door. Like he's not, or like we're like he's not going to be happy." And I was like, "Boys, I'm freaking out here." And they were like, "It's class. We're going viral." And I was like, "No, take it down." It's like this
it's
is gonna
scary,
be-
isn't it?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I
But
thought
then
it was
I
good.
think
These things just go.
Yeah.
No,
I think
But what you
now,
gotta-
it's a bit different now. Like, whenever things start, like we see clips gaining momentum, and you're like, happy days, like this will be, and like, you, like
Yeah.
after a couple of years, like you get used to it. But then at the start, you're like, I remember stuff like as soon as it went over like 5K or hit the 10K mark, you were like, oh no, like
Yeah.
someone's
I put
gonna-
a clip up on my Facebook comedy page that got 500,000 in like a week, and there was, say, 100 comments.
Yeah.
30 of them were awful.
yeah.
70 of them were nice,
Mm-hmm.
but the 30 of them, like it was chaos.
Savage.
Go hard, like.
Like it was chaos. And I just went, this is brilliant, because the more they're commenting, the more people are going to find the clip, find
Yeah.
the
Ah,
page.
it's good for the
People
algorithm.
just go
isn't it?
looking for the
and might
comments,
actually
really.
like my
Yeah.
comedy. And if you don't like
Yeah.
the comedy, obviously you just move on.
Yeah.
But when Connor got the comments, I rang you, do you remember?
Yeah.
I rang and said, listen, don't worry, nothing actually happens.
Yeah.
This is a 24-hour thing.
Yeah.
Because what happens is they'll comment on something today and they'll be commenting on something else in an hour.
Yeah.
And you were then just push. If you
People
want to-
don't see the context.
If you go
And
to
half the
Belfast,
stuff we say, like people maybe don't hear the joke
Yeah.
or get what we're trying to do, or do you know what I mean? They just see it out
Who
of
the
context.
fuck
And they want
comments
to
on a
see it their
TikTok
way.
video?
You know?
Yeah.
I know. Who comments on
comments on a
it?
TikTok video?
Yeah.
We were actually having this discussion recently where it wasn't one of our videos, it was like another one, and we sort of sent it in. And I think that's the thing, when you see some videos on TikTok, you almost like go to the comments to see the comments are nearly funnier than the video. And I think we sent something, we actually had this discussion, I think it was you were like, if you showed me that and I was like, look what I commented on this guy's video, I'd be like, you're a cockla. Like you wouldn't, like, none of us get it in terms of, I don't think I've ever commented on a video and been like,
unless you can win something.
People get too sucked into it.
Yeah.
You know, they get too sucked in. You spend too much time on there. And just people, you know, you get triggered by something you don't like, or it's funny when you see one little 15-second clip out of context. People make up these whole stories, and the bit I was thinking is like, they've made up full stories of who I am, what I do, what I stand for, what my beliefs are. Yeah. Like, they've made up this full story about me that's not even 1% accurate. Yeah. It's insane, and they believe it. Yeah. You know what I mean? They actually believe it.
Yeah, and I support that.
I love it. It's Andre.
That's what you got to understand. It's like, you know, when it come to boxing, when that goes online, they'd be like, oh, look at all these, they're all shit. We're like, well, we're not boxers. So what are you expecting? Like, and if you can't see that, then you're the problem. Like, you know, not us. Like, you know.
I think though, from like we were sort of saying, like, from an outsider looking in, like the cue, even the clips you're seeing going on, like you do. There's an art form that you guys have where, like, you do. You're saying you're playing it safe, but like from an outsider looking in, we're like they're like on the line, but like they're not crossing it. But it's genius. Like, it's like an art form, because you're sitting there going, how are they? I
wouldn't say we necessarily play it safe.
Yeah.
Compared to, you know, like other, you know, shows and stuff. I wouldn't say we're particularly safe, but we're not trying to push the envelope. We're not trying to be edgy. Yeah, like, but we know the kind of the crack we can have, and the kind of dynamic there, and we do argue back and forth, and then Amy will jump in and put both of us in her box, or there'll be a day where Amy will just be getting it all day, and it's a good, you know, we kind of fight a little bit, but it's all.
We don't go in with an idea because, Roy, what can we do today to upset people?
Yeah.
Genuinely, some days we go in, we just
what's going to go viral on TikTok today?
We don't think like that. We actually go in. Some days we go in, we have really lovely shows. Yeah, we have really nice shows where there's no issues. Like, we're all having the crack, and it's soft and it's nice. And then there's another day where it's like Connor will get, like, there was an idea there where Connor got a new car and he was parking it in a different place because he didn't want people to damage his new car.
I was parking shit, and I got called out for it massively.
So then we'd just start going at each other. Like, we found out he had. I'm anti expensive cars. He's got a lovely car, but he parked his car in a car park in between two spaces, or 1.5, whatever it was, and deliberately.
It was an end space, right?
We took a picture of it and put up online, and then we were arguing over, like, why can't you park a car park? But we did not know we were going to talk about that until he mentioned it. Yeah. And then it was just like we all just gave our opinions. But then sometimes we all agree on stuff. So it's not like we don't look at it as in terms of a clip, because not every day we will be trying to get clips or anything. Yeah. We'll probably be like, it was just a nice show today. We don't have to be.
99% of what you would hear or see isn't planned out. We'll have a general census of a topic, but the actual content, what comes out of it. Yeah. There's 3 of us, so it's like us having a conversation now. You can just throw something out there and see what happens. Yeah. And sometimes it just happens, you know. And I mean, Andrew is a comedian, so like, he is funny. Yeah. He is really funny, and he will, like, Andrew will push that more than what Amy or I are, because it's what he does professionally. Yeah. You know, he's going to be on stage after this podcast, and it's what he does. Yeah. And it took me a while to realize this is what he does, but he also knows that he's not on stage. Yeah. He's in a radio station, and there is a set of guidelines. Yeah. And to be fair, you know, I joke. There's been a few times I've felt like that's maybe a bit close, but there's never been a time where I've went too far. Yeah. You've stepped over that line. It hasn't happened once.
Well, I'm sorry, but like,
he knows what he's doing. You know, he has that control.
Last week he said he insinuated his penis grew 6 inches. That song was on. And let me just tell you something, like that's probably the worst thing that's been said.
It would have been. It would have been. You know what I mean? Completely accidental.
Did you not mean?
No. I swear to God, completely accidental. Yeah. Coming out of that song, it's growing me, and I literally just thought height, and I was like, oh, I've grew 6 inches. Like
You
it
said
just
but
came
like,
out.
was that not a joke? The second part.
No.
See, it's the second
Swore-
part. I was
no,
like,
no,
well,
no,
couldn't
no.
figure it
It
out.
seemed
Swore
like
to God.
I seen the clip, and it almost seemed like you'd said what you said, and then you kind of fumbled and then just came out with it. And it was like, as soon as you said it, I was like,
I realized
oh, no.
I realized that I said something kind of rude accidentally.
Yeah.
And then I got really like, "Ugh." You see me going,
Yeah.
and I actually say, and you can hear me going, what am I on about?
yeah.
You know, I said it out loud,
Yeah.
and I tried to carry on. It's only because I tried to carry on with the link. And then I went to say, because we had guests in earlier on, and I went to call back to those guys. Amy just buckled in the corner, and that then just sent me. It kind of got worse as I was trying to hold it in.
Yeah.
But no, it came out, but I wasn't trying to play into it. Like, genuinely wasn't trying to play into it.
And for those like listening in the mornings, like what's it? Because obviously you do a lot of like the controlling of the show as well. So what's that like, trying to like keep up with the crack in the room, but then also you're almost trying to control it?
It's a different thing. It was really hard at the start. It was really hard balance because you are trying to keep it moving, and it's hard when you're thinking of the technical stuff if there's things going on. You know, especially if you're doing like a feature or something, and you're thinking about 4 or 5 different channels, and you're trying to read WhatsApps, and you're maybe looking at when a song finishes or starts, and you know there's a lot to take in, and then you're trying to have a conversation. But I don't know, I think you just kind of get used to it the more that you do it. But then there's the odd morning where Andrew will come in. He likes to keep himself, you know, that if I was off and Amy was off tomorrow, Andrew, as much as he says he wouldn't want to, he could do a radio show on his own. Like technically, he could do it all. Yeah, but the odd time, first thing in the morning, Andrew and Amy will come in and they'll fancy doing an hour on the desk, driving the show, just to keep up to date with it.
Yeah.
To get this kind of spin the place.
And I can sit off to the side and just talk.
Like, what scares you about doing it on your own?
I feel personally, I'm at my best when I'm
riffing off other people.
When I'm riffing off other people.
Yeah.
If I'm running a desk, I'm listening to other people, but I'm not relaxed, and therefore I'm just like, all right, we have to every hour you have to hit certain markers. So you have to hit the traffic, 1:15. You have to hit the news at 5:30. The traffic at 1:45.
Yeah.
And the news then on the hour.
Ad breaks and stuff obviously have to go out, and there's features.
Have to go in as well.
Winning days.
So winning companies. So you have to hit certain milestones every like 20 minutes. You kind of have to be on time. So you could have a segment where you can talk for 2 minutes 42 seconds. Because we know in 2 minutes 42 seconds we have to get out of this segment because we have to go to an ad. Then we have to be on time for the news at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So at 2 minutes 42 seconds, I'm like, right guys, so did you all see Bake Off last night? And he's talking, and then I look at the monitor, it's 1:27. I'm like, yeah, I didn't watch it last night because me and my girlfriend, we were doing this and we were doing that. Next thing you know, it's at 22 seconds, and I'm like, right, I have to get that fader up. I can't have the crack with Bake Off if I'm going 10, and then it comes to 10, 9, 8, and then I've got, right, we need to wrap up this conversation. So we need to find a way to end the chat. And then you go, so if Amy was like, so I went into the kitchen and got a cup of coffee. Sorry, Amy, news. So you can't end the segment on that. It has to have a clean end.
Just trying to find a way of doing it naturally.
So you're a conductor of an orchestra.
Yeah.
But I find that I can't be a conductor of an orchestra and then think to myself, listening to what Amy's saying, then trying to process that, trying to come up with a witty comment.
Yeah.
Whereas, do you see my point?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There is.
So like whenever it's like when I host my own podcast, I'm setting up questions. It's very hard. I think like whenever I do like a tea with me or something like that, I can be myself because I'm totally just focused on the conversation. Whereas when you're the host of something, you got to ask the questions. You want to do follow-up questions. You got to really listen to the answers. Whereas I think I'm at my best when I'm standing at the side and I'm letting them, and I'm in and out. And then when the songs are on, we'll do a bit of admin and we'll check all the messages and we'll go, right guys, how about we go into this topic now because I've got an idea about this. And then Connor will orchestrate everything and get it all set up. It's a different, everyone has a different skill set, like.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
I suppose that's why it works so well. You've obviously had the experience of doing that for so long and came in.
Yeah, it's just doing the thing. It's just doing it, you know, and it's probably why it felt like a bit of a shaky start. Not for too long when we all started together on the show, a couple of weeks, but it was really trying to figure that out, you know.
Was there pressure at the start, like to perform and to make it work? Was there parts of you where,
I mean, I felt it massively because you know, I went into it like it's radio, it's a great job, it's a very privileged job, I love doing it, it's cliche as hell, but genuinely like it was my dream job growing up, like ever from when I was a kid. All I've ever wanted to do is radio, so I'm very fortunate to get to do it and to get to do breakfast. And no matter, you know, if you're having a bad day or whatever, you're tired, you're grumpy, like those first few months when I started, winter months, getting up, pitch black, rain, it was tough. It took a long time for the body clock to adapt. But no matter how you're feeling, like you get into that show and for 4 hours you will just laugh.
We do have
like genuinely we will just laugh, you know, and have the crack with it. So it's trying not to, I don't know, I guess we don't take it too seriously, you know.
And I think if you can be, and I mean this, you can be over polished.
Yeah, you can.
Like,
and I probably was at the start, wasn't I? Like
I would say so, yeah. But you came from working on your own. You have a completely different type of show. It has to be tight. It has to be slick. And it has to be, you're doing a particular job. I think, you know, from somebody like I would have been a radio. I've did quite a bit of radio before but I was always guesting at a regular slot and Talk Sport and stuff like that. Like, so for a while, and so I was comfortable talking on radio, but I was never like an actual part of a breakfast show. But I also think like if you can be. When we mess up, or if I make a mistake, or I say the wrong thing, or you know something happens, or there's times there, like you know, sometimes when Amy's off, I'll do the traffic, like, and I'll take the piss out of the traffic.
Yeah, like today, all day today, the last couple of days.
Take the piss out of the traffic.
Yeah.
That's
you were slabbering about Range Rover drivers.
Yeah, so I said, you know, there's traffic on the A2 West Link, and if you're driving a Range Rover, the world doesn't revolve around you. That car's on finance. You don't own it. There's your traffic for now.
And when it comes to it, like we're all having a laugh.
People are like, that's completely different.
It's a job, and we're all like, it's not. We're all having a great time, and we all hope it lasts as long as we want it to last, and as long as everybody's happy. We hope it does well. It's still, you know, kind of early days. We hope it works. We hope it's landing well with the listeners and stuff.
Making moves like
it feels like that. It's very hard to know, you know. In radio, once every few months, a survey drops, Radar drops, and there's just a set of figures on it. And sometimes it's up, sometimes it might be down.
Sure, like I mean, I've never met anyone that's filled in the survey. Like I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, we can only go by a few metrics, really.
Yeah, and we've got some streaming data, but
we could lose all our listeners, but if Q still said, "Keep going, Andrew," that's all.
Yeah.
I can't worry about, like, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people out there that really don't like me. Like there is. Like,
there's plenty who take my place in the Ulster Hall.
But there's plenty of people out there that like, I can't stand Andrew on the You Were a Breakfast Show. I'm like, well, fucking listen to something else.
Yeah, but there's a lot.
Stop listening to it then.
There's a lot more people that do like you and don't. And I think like one of the things that I've noticed over the last few months is, and Amy will say the same thing, and you'll say the same thing. You've seen it at your shows. I see it at gigs when I'm DJing and stuff. Is people just want to come up and chat about the show or something that they've heard. And you know, when you hear things like that when you're out and about, it's a nice thing. I had an incident in Norwich car park. You didn't hear the story? It's about me. So I parked my car horribly, right, at work. I do. But it's an end space. So I park over the line,
though.
Right? Yeah. So then it gives most anyway, right? You know what it's like. You
I don't know what it's like. Right? You should need to park your car within the spaces that are provided for. It's not my fault if your car is too big for the space. That's your issue. Why should I have to suffer?
But you're not suffering. Are you suffering?
Because you're taking up space from that car park. If there was an end space and there was room for another car park space, there would be another car park space. There's not enough. Yeah, because there's not enough space. There's not enough space for another car park. So why would you put your car there?
This was the crack on the radio.
Anyway, next up is the traffic.
This was the crack on the radio like all week, right? And then our social media team, they even got involved, right? And they went down and took a picture of my car and put it on Instagram and stuff like this. So this was like a running thing for a week. And then after the show one day, just breakfast brain, right? I was up in Newton Arns and I go into one of the shops, you know, the shop centre, and it's bunged up there. Have you been up there? Yeah. It's so busy all the time. Yeah. And like it's notoriously bad for getting your doors hit.
Right.
Like it's
and you were on that's the best place to bring the new car, like
Jesus, right? So I'm driving up and I can't see any end spaces or anything. And I drive past, you know, the disabled spaces.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I look and I go, no. Absolutely not.
You're not that guy.
Can't do it. I'm not that bad, right?
But you have form in that.
Do you always?
What do you mean?
You form and stuff like that.
No, I wouldn't park in a disabled space.
Child and parent space, even without your child.
No, I don't need to have the kids.
No, I don't know.
No, I'm not that bad.
So you always park in an end space or try to park in an end space?
Yeah. Or like the other side of the car park, right? So I drove.
You see, I get that. I do. Like we were in London the other day and parked in Belfast International, and I was driving around. My wife was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'd like to get a wee end space." And she's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Just because I'll go and it'll settle my mind that I might not."
Because people don't give a shit,
weird,
right?
mate.
And people are busy and they're running around with kids, and if the weather's bad and it's windy and whatever
There's nothing more stressful than driving around in a car park with like the two of them, and then Tommy will just be like, "There's a space there, throw it in there," and I'm like, "No, I'm not just going to throw it in anywhere."
Yeah. or you park beside other nice cars because you think they're not
exactly.
But anyway, so I parked miles away from the shopping centre, like miles away. Yeah. And it was a bit of a fluster. I was running late and I got out of the car and I was working up. And a guy came out of Newton North Shopping Centre, right? And he goes to me, oh, did you park your car properly there? And I instantly thought he's seen me slow down and thinking about parking in one of these disabled spaces and then driving on or whatever. I'm just thinking, I just kind of went, what? I don't like confrontation, right? What? And he goes, did you park your car properly there? And he just kind of like, just blanked this guy and walked on, right?
Conor Brennan
completely
rude.
blanked him. So I'm walking through our shopping centre and I send Nicole a voice note. I'm like, you never believe this really weird interaction I was having at North Shopping Centre and this guy and blah, blah, blah. And Nicole never texts me back right away. She's working right away. She texts me back. She's like, you idiot. He's obviously heard the crack on the radio or seen the stuff on socials about you not parking. And I went, oh my God. I had a full panic attack, right? Got out of the shop, got back to my car. I was in a fluster. Like I had an actual meltdown on my Instagram stories, being like, if you are this person, if you by chance, follow me or who this was, blah, 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 like, please get in touch with me.
They didn't follow you after that.
I've now realised that you were talking about my shit parking at the radio station. I'm so sorry.
You contacted us.
And I was freaking. I was going, guys, people are going to think, oh, that Conor Brennan fellow at the radio, he's a real arrogant bastard, isn't he? I was really panicking about it. And then the next day, the guy sent me a message, be like, that was me, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I was talking about
the key radio bosses,
the key radio car park. And I went, oh my God.
There you go now.
But I've never had this before, where people just randomly out and about at shops and stuff want to talk to you about, things that you've said on the radio show. That's all new to me, you see. So it just completely caught me off guard.
Very good.
It's funny, like.
When the new reports come out and you've lost a few percentage of listeners,
you'll
know who to blame.
Listen.
He's like, well.
Whatever, like, bother me. I've signed another contract, so
we're having good crack.
Can't get rid of me. Like,
it's radio. Like, it's not brain surgery. It's not like we're deaf. You know what I mean?
Messing around. I think we like, I do love it. Like, I think it suits me. It's a different sort of thing for me to do and learn and stuff like that. But also, I like the fact that we don't compete with each other.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Thing. We're very different personalities. We all have very different roles to do. And I think the most important thing is we're very clear with that. That, like, I come in, Conor comes in, he's the kind of like leader of the group. When we were looking for another presenter, me and Amy were like, I was like, I do not want to be a leader. Like, I don't want to be a content creator. I want to be a reactor to content.
Yeah.
So Conor is very much like the driver, and he's very good at it, and we're very comfortable working with him and very safe with him, because you can be like, Conor's in, we're sorted, like, Conor's going to be grand, we'll have to crack, it's dead easy. So you go in reassuring, like, going in with Conor every day, and you're like going to go like, oh, Conor's in, it's going to be fine, you know what I mean? Like, whereas, some days if Conor's not in, me and Amy are looking at each other going off.
What do we do?
So, like, he's gone on holiday there for a while. We've already had a meeting about it. Like, what are we going to do when he's gone? So, like, it's like a football team, we all have different, like, Conor could be like the central midfielder pulling all the strings. I'm like a winger that pops up every now and again and scores a worldie. And Amy then is like number 10. Amy's number 10 then just floating about,
Yeah.
And that's the
And we
key.
give each other the space.
Yeah. And like, we've got features on the show now. We had a feature there created called Where's Andrew?
Yes.
Whereas I go around the north and
Give clues.
they have to guess where I am, and we have clues. Sometimes the clues can be a bit of crack as well. And then we've launched an Amy clip there, an Amy feature last week called Amy's Answers. So Amy gives us women's dilemmas and we sort them.
That's cool.
We put our take on them.
We give them our take. So she's like, stuff like, so my friend went on a date with a guy, and
it's great.
2 days.
It's good balance. There's a little bit of everything going on in the show.
Text her back, and we're like, and then she'll maybe bring up some women's issues, and we'll have to kind of find a solution from her. And obviously, maybe our advice might not be the best advice. And then that creates an avalanche of stuff from the listener going, you can't do that. And we're like, oh, what do you do if a guy has seen a girl or women about their haircuts? And if a woman, it's difficult for a woman to change hairdresser. So it's about bringing in women's issues as well and getting that sort of opened up. We're kind of figuring out, we're thinking about doing something with you with Brennan's bread or something like that. Today is bread today.
It's an obvious sponsorship opportunity. Isn't it?
So,
who was it did the Miller Rice ads doing that? Is it Declan Rice?
Declan Rice, yeah.
And he did the ads for Miller Rice because it's the most obvious thing ever to do.
Exactly,
It's perfect.
So, like, because Connor's in now 6-7 months. We kind of like found our feet and found our rhythm, and I think now we're just about to kind of push it into the next phase where particular features, everyone has their identity really nailed in. You know, breakfast shows, like they told me, it can take 2 to 3 years to really become like an institution. You know, like Cool FM are doing it 10 years, like.
Yeah, and they could do 10 more.
And
you know?
and also you don't understand. Like, would you believe it? I did a show last week. Did I tell you about this? I did a show last week in the Devonish, and a few people. I was doing.
See, they're back.
Different type of show than the boxing.
And, one of the staff from Q was actually at the show, so I went around the site to talk to her, and this other woman came up to me, and she just went, and it was the Friday where me, Connor, and Amy were all off. So Kushla and Grania McCoy did it for the first time. They hosted the Friday breakfast show. We just happened to be all away at the same time, which can happen, you know, because you're all entitled to a month's, 4 weeks annual leave a year. So, like, you know, things are going to cross over. But this woman came up to me and she just went, I just want to say, I really like listening to the show in the morning. I was like, all right, thanks very much. She goes, yeah, but I wasn't particularly very happy that all 3 of you were off today. Like, I mean, why? And I thought she was joking. She was like, you know, my routine is you guys.
Yeah.
And she's like, and just about, you know, you don't do Fridays, but I really enjoy Connor and Amy in the morning. Why wasn't Connor and Amy on this morning? And I went, oh, they're both on holidays. And then she was actually going, yeah, but like, surely you can plan around. She was genuinely like, why are ye? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, people don't realize
absolutely offended that
people have routine.
Yeah.
And if they get into the car at 8:10 and it takes them 25 minutes to drive to work, for that 25 minutes, we are their routine.
The reality is too, like, people don't like change.
Yeah.
You know, something new happens, or there's a new show or new people or whatever. It always takes a while to get over those first few weeks, and then it's okay. But the first few weeks can be a bit
I mean, like,
look, a bit different. So anybody that's having to cover, like Kushla and Grania, who smashed it out of the park last Friday, and I'm sure 99% of people like absolutely loved it, but there'll be people like, oh, it's different. It's not Connor, Andre, and Amy. Do you know what I mean?
So, you know, it is. It's kind of nice as well, but it's also a bit like, all right, baby, rain there, like,
Sent for my phone.
you know.
Oh, what did you think of that interview?
Oh my word!
Oh, I actually didn't even see it.
she's
I've
off
just
her
seen
rocker.
clips on TikTok of like the meme.
Oh,
It was like
Yeah.
leave me alone, you're vile.
at the start. I was
have you
like, you know
talked about
what?
that?
She could be relative, and then that 5 minutes
Peers
in, I was
unraveled
like,
her,
oh,
The
no,
end
like,
was
her
just
treat,
a mess.
I might have
She
4
made a
to
fool of
6
herself, like.
emails. I think it's 4. It might
I have
be
a
6.
photographic
out of,
memory.
like,
How many
what?
was it? I don't know. 4 to 6.
Yeah.
What grades did you get?
Yeah.
I got grades.
I never watched the
Good grades.
show,
But
and
at
then
the same
goes on to
time,
give a
they
detailed description of.
Very Donald
Probably-
Trump-esque.
They probably should not have
No.
had her there.
No.
You know,
We'd have interviewed her
Yeah.
on cue. We'd have given her a good hour. Like, we'd have given her a good hour.
Yeah, 9 to 10.
Yeah.
Just give her a Coke.
Yeah.
Started off with a Coke.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or a
that
cup
was
of tea.
it. Diet Coke, wasn't it? Or a cup of tea?
cup of
What was
tea,
it?
yeah.
Cup of
Cup of
tea.
tea.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Cup of tea.
Very good.
Cup of tea, yeah.
But we'll wrap it up here because Andrew, you need to shoot on to a gig, so we don't want to keep
Yeah, I
you
have to
back.
go do the Empire, yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
What time? I'll be in normal time tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks.
What time's
Thanks
normal
for
time?
sharing.
What time's
just
normal?
like, yeah.
What time's normal time?
Yeah. After I've done.
Where's the camera? 4:30.
It won't be at 4:30.
Yeah.
5 to 6.
Do you know what? My missus got out of bed this morning.
3 minutes past 6.
No, forget about it. I'm making the coffee, mate.
Yeah, well, yeah. He does make the coffee in the morning.
The coffee's for
He brought in a coffee machine. 'cause
£20
can't-
didn't ask him for a penny.
Yeah, brought in a coffee machine.
Jesus.
Because we were spending a
when I
fortune on
make the
coffees
coffee
every
for
day.
them, and I bring the coffee. We don't talk till 6:10. So at 6 o'clock, he does the
weather, news
and
weather.
the weather, and we play a couple of songs. So I'm like, right, well, all that's happening. Will I just do the coffees so that when we kick off at 10 past, we all have a coffee, we all have our water, and then from 6 to 7, we just kind of, it's very light. What did you do yesterday? Blah 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 blah. And then in that time, we're kind of prepping, finding out what's in the news. Right, let's do this. He's doing his tech, kind of getting the music check, making sure everything is syncing up and all that. Amy's getting everything set up for like the competitions, whatever. And we all have our little thing going, oh, this happened to me in the gym. Let's talk about something about gym etiquette, all that kind of stuff. So 6 to 7, it's the 6 o'clock club where we are a little bit more risky and we kind of interact a lot more with the listener between 6 and 7. These are people up digging the roads.
It's a bit looser.
Yeah.
isn't
It's a bit
it?
looser, like we kind of like, and they're regulars as well, so
Yeah.
we kind of
Yeah,
poke a little bit and we kind
Yeah.
of maybe play the odd request. We do a little bit more interactive, but while we're doing that, we're also prepping 7 to 10. So like at 6 o'clock, we literally get the coffees in, get the water, get our water bottles filled up, get the room set up, get the temperature right, get the lighting right. You know what I mean? We're like, get all the pads out, right, ready? Let's go. Do you know what I mean? And then we've everything set up and we're just flowing. So like, some mornings I could be in at 10 to 6, 5 to 6. Connor, could be a bit late, or Amy could be a bit late. Amy went on holiday last week, and she messaged us and said, "Can I stay on my holiday for a couple of days?" So we then were like, "Of course!" Like, you know, we so she'll be back tomorrow now.
Yeah, she was supposed to be on Monday. We got a text. We got a text on Sunday. I'm gonna stay on holidays for an extra 2 days if that's okay.
We were like, totally, 100%.
So
but we've sold her that she's gone AWOL.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Just met a Turkish boy.
So we're gonna have like a Turkish boy. She's gone over to get a Brazilian butt lift, but it's gone wrong. Some of that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, she'll have a good time tomorrow.
So do you guys listen to it?
Yes.
When you can, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, nobody listens for 4 hours. Like, people just do 20 minutes here and there. Like, that's the average listening time, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah. 15, 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah, I used to have an hour and a half every morning when I was driving to Armagh.
Yeah.
I'm only 10 minutes on the road now, so by the time I have the radio on,
We've lost a listener.
Yeah.
I just tune in at that where he's ringing the kids, you know, for the question time.
Kids, yeah.
Yeah, at that time.
But
so.
it is great. It is great. Like obviously, I would watch more of the clips because I don't really commute. Like
That's
I
as
walk to
important
work,
as
but
the
like
show,
yeah,
isn't
but
it?
like I
Getting the
like
clips on.
Brand, it's awareness of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
keep-
It'll pull ears to the show. If
But
they
I
like one of the
always know
clips,
when I
then-
see it, I'm like sitting, like try it, like I watch it, be like, "What's crack today?" Like, what? It almost makes you feel like you're missing out on something when you don't listen to the.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is fun, and I think we're a good team. And I think what I like about the three of us is that there's great trust between us.
Yeah.
Like, we trust each other.
Yeah.
And we got each other's backs. Like, and there's great kind of like, you know, if somebody had a problem, like if Connor had to rush off at 7:10 in the morning because one of his kids, God forbid, or was sick or something happened at home, like, we're like, just go. You know, what I mean? There's none of this. No, we're not trying to climb above each other for anything. We're not trying to be the best. I want to be the best presenter. No, we all have roles. We all are only as good if we have the other two people.
Yeah.
100%.
And if like, you know, there's no ego in it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's all about, we are only good if there's three of us. If there's two of us,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
fine, and we're grand. But this only works. We're all equally as important as each other. We just have different roles, and everyone accepts that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the key thing. And we're good at communicating.
Yeah.
Like, we are good at talking about the show, and like if something's pissing each other
Feeding
off,
back
like,
and on
feeding back,
things,
like,
or
you know.
yeah.
There'll be times where I'll piss someone off, or like, you know, we can all be grumpy, like we can all be tired. Like,
Yeah. Well,
Connor's been doing a lot of work in the gym. He's been coming in. He's been sore shoulders and all that kind of stuff, and just being off form or whatever like that. You know, I've had, you know, I can come in tired from traveling, from gigging and stuff, and it's just about guys just not in form today. Like, it's like, that's okay.
And then you have another two people to lift you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's okay.
Bounce off.
You
And
know, you're not 100% all the time. Like.
Yeah.
And it's good because you can be honest with them. Like, guys, I'm just not feeling it. There's one show there recently we did, Connor, and you were very good. I think it was about quarter today, and I just went like, Connor, I just can't do this. I can't get into it today.
can't get the flow.
Just couldn't get into the show. Just couldn't get any rhythm, and
Yeah.
you know. And he was just like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, fair enough.
I suppose you're better being truthful about that. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like
you
the
know what I
listeners
mean?
are going to pick
And there's
up on that
times
sort of
where
thing.
You're doing 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know,
There's no point pretending
You're doing 20
that's,
hours a week. If you can get 15, 16 in those hours where you think they were good,
They were
Yeah.
good.
It's all true. Yeah.
You know, so like,
Lion.
and I think the beauty is working with like Connor and stuff and Amy is like they can, you know, they're totally on board because it's intense. Like,
Yeah, there's
Like, I
the
know-
other day you want to take like a slight step back. You know what I mean? If you're like struggling to get into a flow, and there's days like I'll be like that, but he'll be absolutely firing on all cylinders. So I'll just let him go and let Amy go, and I can almost step back and just do the techie stuff if I'm a bit, you know, tired or whatever. You know what I mean? It's
and vice versa. There'll be a day where Connor probably has something that's happened that he wants to talk about. We're like, right, we'll step back.
Yeah,
and he'll tell a story and we'll chirp in, and then we'll ask the listener what do they think. But it's about reading. It's saving
Yeah.
comedy. It's read the room.
but then most days the three of us are firing and
Yeah.
magic happens.
And then some days when it all sinks, it's like football.
Yeah,
You know, you score a goal from building up from the back. Like
There is some days you walk off the show and you think, oh, that was
you
You want to keep going,
that
nearly?
was good. Yeah.
Connor, I would say a bit of a radio geek.
Yeah.
Right. So Connor would actually.
Anorak.
Connor actually rang me one day and he said, I just want to say, like, there's, you know, I know a lot of the other shows, not just in the north, like we're talking over across the water as well and stuff. And he's like, I don't think there's anyone that's having as much crack as we are.
Yeah. And that definitely shows. It definitely shows.
Like it's some of the days it's absolute chaos. Abusing the newsreaders, like
Jane.
Jane Veach coming in.
Who does this?
I created a fake story
Poor woman.
that Jane Veach's husband had moved out of the family home and he was living in a caravan in Donegal, right? Yeah. And I created
She
this.
had
And
people texting.
texting her going, I'm sorry to hear that you and Ian.
Oh my God. My God.
A poor woman.
She's like, we haven't split up. So every time I see her, I'm like, have you been to visit Ian in the caravan? And then we explained that Jane had a gin problem. Like Jane's like the most pristine, class A woman. And then she's like, oh, you know, I was in France. Oh, you were over there with Pierre, you're a new fella, like Ian is in the caravan and Donaghadee. And here's Taylor Swift. Just leave it hanging there, like, you know what I mean?
It was nearly a feature. You were nearly going to do Jane's Diary.
But I didn't want to pick on her. You have to be very careful how you do it. Like, who's the butt of the joke? I don't mind being the butt of the joke. Like, you know what I mean?
It's good crack.
No, but listen, I've had so much fun the last 7 months with Conor, and it's great that he's been able to come in to do the boxing and get to know this kind of world that have a little bit of a crossover with the comedy world, and everyone speaks very highly of him, and he's it's been great, and I'm hoping that I'd love to learn to DJ, and I'd love if Conor could teach me how to DJ, and I think I might do like an event sometime next year, maybe where we could do like a comedy show, and at the end of it's like a DJ set from me and Conor. We're like mixing each other. That'll be cool. You know, like we'll have like a little bit of a one-off rave. Shane Todd loves DJing as well, so we might do like an evening rave with the three of us and sell a few tickets. So.
Conor can do the comedy.
I'll do 5 minutes comedy.
5 minutes comedy.
I've been asked that a few times now during this, like, you know, because you've signed up for the boxing, you have to do 5 minutes comedy.
I'll get him to do comedy.
Don't know about that now.
You always say, that's one thing. Like anytime we've had you on or we've been on yours, at the end of it, we always get into this conversation. Then you look at us and go, "Did you ever get into comedy?" And we're like,
I love watching people do comedy for the first time because it's fucking awful.
And you know, it would annoy me so much because anything I do, I would just want to go out and be like Peter Kay. You know, I would just want to be like,
like Brett.
Like my first ever 5 minutes, I would want to absolutely kill, and obviously it would be horrible, and I would take that so badly. I would probably leave the country.
But well, thank you very much for both coming on.
Good to see you, lads.
Yeah,
nice to see you, and thanks for having us on.
Good luck with the boxing.
Thank you.
Lovely boys. Now
the best man win.
Take these boys home to your mother. Lovely boys.
All the best. Cheerio.
All right.